The worst first overall draft picks in NBA history. Andrea Bargnani. The first choice in the 2006 draft was Andrea Bargnani. This adaptable power forward had a lot of potential, according to the Toronto Raptors, and center. The 7 feet 0 inches Italian, however, never lived up to expectations. Bargnani undoubtedly had a few successful seasons, but altogether, his career was unimpressive. Bargnani played 550 games in 10 NBA seasons, averaging 14.3 points, 1.2 assists, and 4.6 rebounds per contest while shooting 43.9% from the field. Pervis Ellison. The Sacramento Kings selected Pervis Ellison with the first overall pick in the 1989 NBA draft. He spent just one season with the Kings before being dealt to the Washington Bullets, where he spent the next 4 years before being cut. Later, he spent 5 years playing for Boston before concluding his career with the Seattle Supersonics. Ellison's performance as the first overall choice was disappointing, as he averaged just 9.7 points, 6.7 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and 1.6 blocks per game. Michael Olowokandi. The Los Angeles Clippers made a good argument for picking the 7-foot center, Michael Olowokandi, with the first overall pick in the 1998 NBA draft after he averaged 22.2 points, 11.2 rebounds, and 2.9 blocks per game during his senior year at college. However, the Nigerian was a huge letdown because he couldn't even get the Clippers into the playoffs, and Olowokandi's performance of 6.8 rebounds and 8.3 points a game was undoubtedly below par. Greg Oden. The Portland Trail Blazers selected center Greg Oden with the first overall choice in the 2007 NBA draft because they thought he had a lot of promise. Oden was unfortunately only able to play for 3 years before suffering knee issues that prevented him from fulfilling even half of his ability. Oden was one of the NBA's worst first-round selections, but it wasn't really his fault, he was just unlucky. Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown played for 7 teams during the course of a 12-year career, including the Washington Wizards, who took him with the first overall pick in the 2001 draft. Brown was expected to work on improving his attacking skills in addition to performing basic defensive duties. Brown, however, never really broke out and had a career-long record of being an underwhelming performer. Some people think Brown's inability to handle the pressure of being selected first overall by a franchise was due to mental incapacity. In 2003-04, he had his greatest season, averaging 10.9 points and 7.4 rebounds per game. Kent Benson. When the Milwaukee Bucks were given the first overall pick in the 1977 draft, they chose Kent Benson over Marcus Johnson, Jack Sigma, or Walter Davis. With the Bucks for only 3 seasons, the center averaged 9.8 points, 5.9 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 1.0 blocks per game. After that, Benson spent 7 seasons with the Detroit Pistons, having a few solid seasons but falling short of expectations. Anthony Bennett. Although there wasn't a very talented pick in the 2013 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks nonetheless chose Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the Denver Nuggets took Rudy Gobert. While Anthony Bennett, a capable power forward who also contributed defensively, was chosen by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Bennett, though, let everyone down in the NBA. He only played for 4 seasons and averaged 4.4 points, 0.5 assists, 3.1 rebounds, 0.2 blocks, and 39.2% of his shots were made from the field. Mark Workman. Mark Workman, a power forward, was selected by the Milwaukee Hawks with the first pick in the 1952 NBA draft. Not only in basketball, but in all of sports, this was one of the worst draft failures ever. Given that Mark Workman's averages in the NBA were 4.9 points, 2.9 rebounds, and 0.6 assists per game, it is understandable why he lasted just 2 NBA seasons. Workman also had a subpar field goal percentage of 33%. Dick Ricketts. Dick Ricketts, the top pick in the 1955 draft, played only 3 seasons in the NBA before pursuing his ambition of playing baseball and pitching 1 season for the St. Louis Cardinals, which went, to put it mildly, poorly. For those who are interested in basketball, Dick Ricketts had a brief career and averaged just 9.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game. Unquestionably, the St. Louis Hawks selected a player who was among the worst ever. LaRue Martin. Unquestionably the worst first pick in NBA history, LaRue Martin was one of the worst of all. LaRue Martin, a 6 feet 11 inches center chosen by the Portland Trail Blazers in 1972, was a complete disappointment, as evidenced by the fact that by 1977 he was without an NBA team and averaged an appalling 4.6 rebounds, 0.5 blocks, and 5.3 points a game. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please like, share, comment, and